Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. I'm Nina, and today we're going to be talking about the last two dates that I've had that I did not have time to record. So here we are. And then we're also going to talk about some red flags, how to pick up red flags, how to deal with red flags, and a little story time on that. So let's begin with our date reviews. So this weekend, I went on two dates, and it was a first and second date. So it was the same person. We met on the one day, went on our first date, and then had a follow up date. So the first date, he came to pick me up. I actually had some stuff that I was doing. This was on Saturday. I had some stuff that I was doing during the day. So we were originally supposed to have our date as a lunch date, but because I was busy during the day, we decided, or he agreed to do dinner instead. So he came to pick me up and we went to dinner. And went to a nice restaurant, and the food was great, the atmosphere was great. The restaurant was actually fantastic because there was some entertainment, there was a belly dancer, which was really something different. So that was very refreshing. Lots of fun to watch and kind of have, more to talk about, and have some entertainment and all of that kind of stuff. So that was really fantastic. And the date went really well. The guy was just super curious. So he had a bunch of questions to ask me based on, obviously we met online, so based on my profile, and so the conversation flowed very easily. He initiated a lot of the conversation, which is fantastic. And just, yeah, it was really great. We got along really well. We found a lot of commonalities, which is always really good. And he wanted to see me again. So we had our second date the following day, which was Sunday, which was yesterday. And this time we took a nice leisurely drive first. We kind of went out of the city a little bit and had more of like a brunch situation. Yeah, so that was really good as well. The setup was really nice. It was nice and open, some fresh air, which was really great. And once again, he led the conversation, I would say 90% of the time. Very curious person, so he had a bunch of questions. And yeah, it was quite interesting. So that went really well, I would say. So after that, he came to drop me off at my place, and that was that. So he probably wants to see me again sometime this week. He just has to confirm when. So we'll see how that goes. But that's how my weekend was, dating and dating. So I'm having a really fantastic time with all of these dates, not only because it's nice to go on dates, but because I'm meeting, new people, all sorts of different experiences, different conversations, different energy, which is really nice. But I'm also really getting to learn a lot about, um, the dating experience, not just from my perspective as a woman, as a feminine woman, but also what are some of the experiences that men are having, and some of them, ladies, are not so good. Some of them are not so good. Some of these men are actually, prepared to treat you really well, give you a really nice dating experience and all of that kind of stuff, but a lot of women are just showing up not even trying to be ready for that. A lot of women are showing up the way that they would show up for a girls' night. Not even a girls' night. I mean, just it's not okay. It's not okay. So, um, one of the stories that he told me, which he found very devastating, is he met somebody and they went on their first date and everything was going really well, until the girl started drinking. Like, not drinking like having a drink, a cocktail, a glass of wine or even a bottle of wine. No, she was going in with hard shots. And obviously, before long, she was super drunk, and it was just super awkward, with him trying to figure out how to get her home and all of that kind of stuff. So, ladies, this is something that when he told me, it actually broke my heart because I just thought to myself, I'm very like careful around people that I don't know. I always have like a backup plan. If things go wrong, how do I get myself out of a situation? So, number one is don't drink to a point where you don't know what's going on around you. Some people would even say don't drink at all on a first date, which also makes sense because if you're not drinking at all, if somebody tries to slip something into your drink or whatever, it's going to be much easier to notice it than if you are already drinking. But I did cover that in a previous video about how I try and keep safe with my drinks in restaurants by befriending, the staff and all of that kind of stuff. But don't drink to a point where you don't even know where you are. You don't know what is going on. You're passing out. Why? Why would you do that? Around a person that you don't know. And now you're basically at his mercy and you have no idea. This was just so disturbing to hear. So I know it's not part of the topic, but I really want to put it out there. Ladies, please, safety first. Fun and dating and all of that kind of stuff cannot be enjoyed if you are not safe. There's no point dating and putting yourself in harm's way, So, yeah, let's just, whatever you do, safety first, don't overdrink, always know how you're going to get home if everything goes south. Don't be at someone's mercy, especially someone you don't know. It's not okay. Okay, do we agree? Okay, now that that's out of the way, because that was weighing very heavy on my heart from the time he told me, I think I almost had tears in my eyes because I was like, with all of this, gender-based violence that's going on, as a woman, you also have a responsibility to not put yourself in certain situations. And being drunk on a first date is a big no-no. Okay. So anyway, so let's rewind to my first online match. We had 2 dates. I don't know if you guys remember. The last date that we had was on Thursday. So we had our first date on Wednesday, actually. No, on Tuesday. And then our second date on Wednesday. No, it was Wednesday and Thursday. Sorry, guys. Last week. So after we parted ways on Thursday, we kind of kept in touch via text, right? And he basically was setting up our date for Sunday. I couldn't do Saturday because Saturday I was busy and I had another date. So Sunday was the day that we were supposed to have our third date. So okay, so let me rewind to our first date, and this is going to link up with the red flags part of this topic. So on our first date, after, we had, finished eating, he had paid the bill, we're getting ready to change locations, I was just contemplating, should I sit at the restaurant, bring my, laptop and carry on working, or should I drive back home? So I kind of had a think out loud moment. I was like, I actually don't know what to do. I don't know if I should do this or I don't know if I should do that. And he came up with the suggestion of, well, why don't you come back to my place? You can work from there. And my answer was a very solid, cold no. I didn't even think about it and I didn't even justify it. I was just like, no. I think I'll figure out what I need to do. And that was that. Okay. So that was probably red flag number one, but I wouldn't really call it. No, this is where we start negotiating red flags, right? It wasn't red; it was pink. So I wouldn't call it a red flag, just in the sense that I understand that men, people in general, are always going to try and do as little as possible to get as much, out of it as they can. So when a man tries his luck, I usually don't take it personally because I just understand that's human nature. So I really didn't take it personally. I didn't think, oh, who does he think he is? Who does he think I am? Da da da. Da. It never got to that for me, right? And he never brought up the whole come to my place thing ever again. Second date, none of that. Okay. So when he's planning our third date, then, out of nowhere, he starts really insisting that, okay, I think Sunday you should come over to my place and I think you should sleep over. I'm like, what is happening? So, once again, I really don't want to make it about me. So I just brushed it off very lightheartedly, just with a smiley face, like, you're so silly. That's literally all I texted to him and left it at that. And obviously, that's hint enough that that's not going to happen right now, right? So, anyway, move fast forward to the day before I'm supposed to see him. So fast forward to Saturday. So Saturday, I had a very busy day. Like I said, I had work during the day and then I had a date in the evening. So I hardly had time in between to do anything, let alone text. Okay. And he's busy texting me, talking about what time are you going to come to my place tomorrow? And I'm like, why are we doing your place? What is happening at your place? Now I want you to see my place, and then maybe after hanging out, we can go to dinner. And I was just like, you know what, actually that's not really what I was hoping for. I was hoping to do something a little bit different. And so he says, okay, please suggest. So I'm like, I haven't been to the spa in a while. I was really hoping we'd do something like that, or whatever, but I was really hoping for something other than just dinner because we've done that. So he says to me, okay, the spa sounds great. Let me see if I can book. Um, Actually, he says, the spa sounds great. We'll go. We'll do that. So I'm like, okay, great, fantastic. Let me know when you've booked it. And, it's just a back and forth about making a booking and him thinking he actually doesn't need to make a booking, and that kind of thing. So anyway, Saturday I don't have time to do it back and forth. So after I tell him, let me know once you've made the booking, I carry on. And by that time, my days is coming to pick me up anyway. So um, later on, I glimpsed at my phone. He's responded and he's, adamant about me coming over to his place and then we'll book from his place. So I'm like, okay, so clearly here the agenda is I have to come to his place. And that's clearly not negotiable for me because it doesn't matter what I say, he still always comes back to that. So clearly his agenda is to get me to his house. And if his agenda to get me to his house is that strong, I think we all know what's probably going to happen at his house, or what he hopes is going to happen at his house. So eventually, long story short, Sunday morning, I'm now left with two options for a date. It's my Saturday night guy who wants to see me again on Sunday for brunch. And it's my Thursday second date guy that is supposed to see me for a third date. So I wake up Sunday morning and I'm like, who am I going to see today? What is going on? So I check in with our spa date to find out, has he booked the place? What is going on? And the message that he had last sent is, no, he doesn't think they'll be booked up by the time, we book on Sunday. So it's fine. I should come over to his place around lunchtime and then we'll book together and then, we'll go wherever. I don't even know which spa this is at this stage. So I asked him, I'm like, okay, so if you haven't made a reservation, do you want to maybe just check that they have space because I know a lot of spas get booked up, especially on the weekends. So maybe just give them a call just to check if they have space if you haven't booked as yet. So I sent him that message, and bear in mind, this is somebody that I would send a message, and within 2 minutes, I would get a reply back, on a normal day. This is how it's been happening from the beginning, right? I sent him this message. I waited 30 minutes. I waited 45 minutes. I waited an hour. He didn't read the message and obviously didn't respond, didn't do anything. So I thought, okay, he probably doesn't like my suggestion that much. That's also okay, but I'm definitely not entertaining his come to my place. So that's when I told Mr. I want a second date. Um, I'm free. Let's do brunch, which he came to pick me up for. So red flags, ladies, red flags. My first red flag is when a man says something, but his actions don't reflect that. So this guy was talking about, oh my goodness, he's so happy he met me. He just feels like this connection is so strong. He's so ready for a committed relationship. He's so ready to be with a woman, treat a woman right. He knows what woman wants. He knows what mistakes he's made in the past. So he's ready to do better. And he's so, he's so ready. But his actions were not matching up with his words. So, as much as he was saying he was ready for something long term, he was really treating me like somebody that he only wanted in his life short term. So, think about this. If a man wants, and we've all been in relationships, right? When you look back at the relationships that lasted, the long term relationships, the relationships where you knew the guy actually cared about you, was he more um, worried about getting you alone, or was he more worried about what you think of him, making a good impression, getting you to trust him, winning your trust? If it meant just seeing you a couple of weeks first, he was willing to invest that amount of time and energy and resources into you to gain your trust. Which of these two are relationship ready? So when you have somebody who's saying, oh, I'm so ready for a long-term relationship, but they're pushing you to get into your pants, which one is he? Versus somebody who's like, I just enjoy your energy, I just enjoy being around you, and I really like you. I want you to get to a point where you're so comfortable around me that I don't have to push for certain things. I don't have to negotiate anything. It either happens naturally or it doesn't, right? So that's the first red flag. If a guy is saying one thing, but his actions are showing you something else, we have a situation. Okay. So I had to actually literally go back to our text and just kind of be like, where did I miss, the red flags? And unfortunately, this one is a little bit hard to see because as women, we really get turned on by what we hear. So when you hear a man talking relationship, commitment, ready, da da da, you think, oh wow, okay, this is cool. And it takes a while, obviously, for the action part to show up. So it may not look like a red flag just because it's just words, but it's a red flag once those words don't match up with his actions, right? So that's number one. Number two, which is a pet peeve of mine, when they're trying to push for home indoor dates. And that's really another thing about this quarantine that was so annoying, is that because no one is getting out for the longest time, nobody was leaving their homes, everybody was trying to get you to come to their house, or they were trying to get to your house. And it's like, you're a perfect stranger. Why would I do that? So home dates for me are super annoying. Like, I can't express how annoying it is for a man to ask me to come to his place and I don't know him. Not only because not only because of the safety issue. I mean, there's so much trauma happening in the world to women at the hands of men. And not to say every man is a monster, but if you are a sensitive man, you understand why women will be reserved when it comes to going to a private, secluded place with you. And if you don't understand it, that's red flag number 3. A man that doesn't care about your safety or your comfort. He cares more about what he wants to get out of you. Big red flag. I think for me, that's when the alarm bells started going off. The home thing, come to my house, I was already like, I don't like that. But when he saw me express my discomfort, why do you have to come to your house? I think we should do A, B, and C. This is what I was thinking. When he ignores those 3 things that I say to show him that I'm not comfortable coming to his house, when he ignores those and he keeps pushing for his own agenda, for me, that's a red flag. Because somebody who cannot respect your wishes when you're apart and he's trying to see you and you're in your own space, he's in his own space, or whatever. If he cannot respect your wishes or your reservations or whatever you want to call it, if he can't respect it at that point, what makes me think he will respect it when we are in his space, in a confined space, the doors are locked, the gates are closed? What makes me think that when I say I'm not comfortable doing that, he'll stop? I have no reason to think that he would stop. In fact, I have every proof to show that he's probably not going to stop, because he's not stopping with trying to get me to his house in the first place. So once he's got me there, he's not going to stop until he's achieved whatever agenda he has for me. So ladies, be mindful. Yes, we want to be, in nice relationships with nice people though, right? Not just anybody. Not everybody qualifies to be in a relationship with you, and not everybody's even looking to be in a relationship with you, despite what they say. But you have to be aware and, switched on in order to see certain things. Otherwise, you're just going to buy a man's words. Oh, well, he did say he's looking for a committed relationship. So, maybe I'm overthinking it. And the next thing you know, it's not good. It's not good. So, if his words don't match his actions, that's a red flag. If he's trying to push you to come to his house for an indoor date and you hardly know him, especially if you're uncomfortable with it. I know some women don't mind it, and that's totally up to you. But if you don't feel comfortable enough to be in a confined, closed, private space with this person, and he keeps pushing for that anyway, red flag. If you express that you're not comfortable with something and he keeps pushing for it anyway, red flag. Okay, so we have to be mindful. We have to put our safety first. Otherwise, we are going to end up with predators. We are going to end up being victims. We are going to end up being violated. We're going to end up being hurt. We're going to end up being taken full advantage of. Because sometimes our need to be nice and sweet overpowers our logic, and then we find ourselves in a mess and you can't get out of it. So learn to read red flags. And once you see a red flag, walk. Don't negotiate. A red flag is not negotiable. You don't sit and negotiate red flags. Leave. It's a sign to go. It's not a sign to sit and work anything out. Okay? So if you've ever been in a situation like this, similar to this, or any other red flag, please share down in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what kind of content you want to see more of, and I will add that to the list of topics I have for you guys. And I'm really sorry I haven't come on the past 2 days. Yeah, it's been date after date after date, but I'm here now. So thank you so much for joining me on this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And I will see you beautiful ladies in the next one. Bye.